Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Bhuvi and I'm so excited to have you here. Can you believe it? 2024 is almost over. Let's step into 2025 with smiles on our faces and happiness in our hearts. Over the past 3 years, I have dabbled in bullet journaling but struggled to stay consistent. For today's video, we'll be setting up my 2025 journal. The notebook that I'm using is just a simple diary I picked up from Miniso. 2024 had its ups and downs, emotionally and mentally. So, for this setup, I decided to take the pressure off myself. I didn't want to stress about making it perfect. Instead, I printed some pictures, cut them to look like stickers, and went with the flow. Initially, I planned to stick to a theme, but then it hit me. If I want things to change, I need to embrace change first. So I chose purple as my main color and let creativity guide me. Journaling without worrying about perfection made me realize how much that mindset affects other areas of my life. Striving for perfection isn't always a bad thing, but I don't want to look back and regret not doing something just because I feared it wouldn't be perfect. I hope this reminder helps you as you start your new year too. I reused my 2024 bullet journal to wrap its pages for 2025. I had already finished my future log, and for the goals page, I kept it simple by sticking some printed stickers to make it visually appealing. I wanted it to feel motivational without being overwhelming. Initially, I thought about categorizing my goals into sections like personal, professional, health, and creative pursuits, but then I wondered if it might be better to leave it open and jot down goals as they come to my mind. This way, I can allow my goals to evolve naturally instead of confining myself to predefined categories. For example, one day I might want to focus on small, achievable tasks, another day I might think of bigger milestones. Having that flexibility feels freeing and it takes away the pressure of over planning. Let me know in the comments. Do you prefer categorizing your goals or keeping it more open ended? For the monthly adventure spread, I envisioned it as a place to celebrate the little joys and big milestones of each month. Each section is designed to capture snippets of life that feel worth remembering, whether that's a cozy evening with friends, a weekend getaway, or even just trying a new recipe that turned out amazing. I divided the pages into monthly sections, leaving enough space to add photos, notes, or small mementos like ticket stubs or pressed flowers. This time I kept the design simple so updating it doesn't feel like a chore. I also plan on using stickers and doodles to add a touch of personality to each month's highlights. Reflecting back, I realized I have tried spreads like this before, but I struggled to keep up with them. Sometimes I forgot to print pictures, or I got too busy and never went back to update the pages. So this year I'm aiming for progress, not perfection. Even if I only jot down a single moment from a month, that's still better than skipping it entirely. I think this spread can serve as a little time capsule. Imagine flipping through it at the end of 2025 and seeing a snapshot of your year, every trip, celebration, or even quiet moments of the day. It's like a gratitude practice wrapped in creativity. I made a small spelling mistake in February. I didn't notice it right away, but when I did, I decided to embrace it instead of stressing about fixing it. I also ended up planning for 7 months instead of 6. Again, I reminded myself it's okay. Mistakes are part. This section is quickly becoming one of my favorites. It's a chance to document my adventures in a way that feels fun and creative without putting too much pressure on myself. I can already imagine flipping through this spread at the end of the year and reliving all the memories I have captured, each page like a mini time capsule of 2025. If you have ever tried a similar spread, let me know how you keep up with it. And if you are thinking of trying one this year, my advice is to keep it simple and make it your own. Mistakes and all, it's the memories that matter the most. So here I was just pasting up all the stickers I had cut and putting it in the places I had already placed before and making it more beautiful. For my book travel, I wanted to create a spread that feels inspiring and functional, a place to celebrate my love for reading while keeping track of my literary adventures throughout the year. Initially, I had grand plans to include details like the title, author, genre, and even a rating for each book I finish. But as I started setting it up, I realized that overcomplicating the layout might discourage me from using it consistently. So I decided to simplify it. Now, The spread has just space to jot down the titles of the book I read. What's great about this approach is that it gives me the flexibility to out and evolve the spread as I go. Maybe mid-year, I'll feel like adding notes about my favorite quotes or how a particular story impacted me. Or perhaps I'll want to mark books with a small symbol to indicate my favorites. Keeping it open-ended allows this tracker to grow with me throughout the year. Reading has always been more than just a hobby for me. It's a way to explore new perspectives, escape into different worlds, and learn about myself. That's why I love the idea of this tracker, not just as a log, but as a visual representation of my journey through stories. If you are planning a book tracker, my advice would be to start small. Focus on what feels meaningful to you, whether that's logging titles, tracking genres, or even just noting down how each book made you feel. And if you have suggestions for improving my tracker, let me know in the comments. For my habit tracker, I wanted a spread that felt motivating yet realistic, a space to track the habits that truly mattered to me and aligned with the lifestyle I want to build in 2025. I started by choosing just a few core habits: exercising, journaling, studying, and keeping up with my skincare routine. These are areas where I want to see real growth, but I didn't want to overwhelm myself by tracking too many things at once. The layout is simple: a grid where I can tick off each habit each day. There's something so satisfying about seeing those check marks add up over time, like little reminders of the progress I'm making. To make it visually appealing, I added purple accents to tie it in with the rest of my journey and left some space for notes or reflections. One thing I have learned from using trackers in the past is that it's important to focus on consistency rather than perfection. There will be inevitably be days where life gets busy and I don't check off every habit, and that's okay. Missing a day doesn't mean failure, it just means I'm human. What matters is that I keep coming back to it. This year, I also want to use my habit tracker as a tool for self awareness. If I notice I'm consistently missing certain habits, it's an opportunity to reflect and ask myself why. Maybe the habit needs to be adjusted, or maybe I need to rethink how I'm approaching it. Either way, it's all part of the journey. If you are starting a habit tracker this year, my advice is to start with just a few habits that are meaningful to you. Let the tracker grow naturally, just like your habits will. For the letter to me spread, I wanted to create something truly personal and reflective, a space where I can have a heartfelt conversation with my future self. I haven't decided exactly what I want to write yet, but I know I want this letter to be honest and encouraging. It's an opportunity to check in with myself and reflect on where I am at now, and what I'm striving for, and what I hope to achieve now by the end of 2025. I imagine writing about the lessons I have learned in 2024, the habits I'm trying to build, and the goals I'm working towards. I want to remind my future self to celebrate progress, no matter how small, and to keep embracing imperfection. Life isn't about getting everything right, it's about showing up and trying. I also want to include some motivational words like a pep talk or when things get tough. Maybe I'll even jot down a few questions for my future self to answer, like: did you achieve the things you hoped for? What surprised you this year? How do you feel about the person you have become? The design of the spread is still a work in progress, but that feels fitting. It mirrors the idea that life is always a work in progress too. I left space in to add doodles or stickers that represent my mood while writing, and I'm considering adding an envelope to hold the letter until the end of the year. If you have ever written a letter to your future self, I'd love to hear what you included and how it impacted you when you finally read it. This is one spread I'm really excited to revisit in 2025. Life is messy, unpredictable, and sometimes overwhelming. It's full of ups and downs, those moments of pure joy and the times that feel a little heavier. But what I have realized is that the beauty of life isn't in having everything figured out. It's in the process. It's in how we grow, how we adapt, and how we find meaning in even the smallest things. That's where journaling comes in. Journaling is like pressing the pause button on life. It's a space where you can sort through your thoughts, reflect on your experiences, and even dream a little about the future. It's not about creating something perfect, it's about creating something authentic. When I sit down with my journal, I feel like I'm giving myself permission to slow down. Whether it's writing about my day, sketching an idea, or sticking in a photo that makes me smile, I'm reminded to appreciate the moment I'm in. It's a chance to reflect Not just on what happened, but how I felt, what I learned, and what I want to carry forward. Journaling has taught me that life isn't about chasing perfection. It's about showing up. Showing up for the good days, the tough ones, and even the completely ordinary ones. It's about embracing the mistakes we make, the lessons we learn, and the stories we live. One thing I love about journaling is its adaptability. Some days my journal is a place to vent, just raw, unfiltered emotions spilled onto the page. Other days it's a space for gratitude, where I focus on the little things that made me smile. A kind word from a friend, a beautiful sunset, or even a perfectly brewed up coffee. And there are the creative days when I feel like experimenting. I'll add some color, try new lettering styles, or create a mood board for something I'm excited about. Those are the days when journaling becomes a way to play and express myself, and it reminds me not to take life too seriously. But more than anything, journaling is a way to connect with myself, with my past, and even with my future. It's a way to honor where I have been, acknowledge where I am, and dream about where I want to go. I think that's what makes journaling so special. It's not just about documenting life, it's about living it more intentionally. It's about being present, being mindful, and giving yourself the space just to be. So, if you've ever thought about starting a journal or if you've ever let yourself gather dust for a while, I encourage you to give it a try. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Start with a single thought, a single doodle, or even just a single word. Let it be imperfect because life is imperfect. At the end of the day, your journal is your safe space. It's a canvas for your dreams, a sanctuary of your worries, and a time capsule for the moments that make you, you. Life is a story we are all writing, and journaling is a way to make sure we don't forget the best parts. At the end of the day, I believe life is like a story we are all writing. Every moment, every decision, every emotion, it's a line in the narrative of who we are and who we are becoming. And the beautiful thing about journaling is that it allows us to capture these moments in a way that's uniquely our own. And the best part, it doesn't have to be perfect. Life isn't perfect, so why should your journal be? The spelling mistakes, the uneven lines, the smudges of ink, they're all part of the charm. They remind you that you are human and you are trying, and that's what matters. Years from now, when you look back at your journals, you won't just see the words or the drawings. You'll feel the emotions you had while creating them. You'll remember the laughter, the tears, the moment of quiet reflection. It's like a time machine that takes you back to the person you were and helps you appreciate the person you have become. So, whether you are capturing your dreams, jotting down a simple to do list, or doodling on a lazy afternoon, know that every little thing you put in your journal is a piece of your story. It's your way of saying, "This happened. I lived this. I felt this." Life moves fast, and it's easy to get caught up in a rush of all of it. Journaling helps you pause. It's a gentle reminder to slow down, to breathe, and to find beauty in the everyday. Now that the setup is complete, let's flip through. Honestly, I'm surprised by how happy I am with it. After finishing each spread, I thought it wasn't good enough, but looking back, I love how it all came together. From the beginner friendly lettering to the scattered stickers and the open space for notes, it's perfectly imperfect. For this year, I have chosen two guiding words instead of one: improvement and freedom. I hope we can all keep trying and improving ourselves, no matter what life throws at us. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you next time. Bye.